What's happening, people? I hope you're well. Big up everybody for watching. Big up everyone for staying up and hoping and clinging on to some form of optimism that Arsenal might actually sign somebody today, leading up to the final minutes and final hours. Wrong. It didn't happen, and it was never going to happen. It's amazing, isn't it, that you can have such a good start to the window, yet be left feeling a little bit glum. And I think that's what most people are feeling. If they have a care and passion for Arsenal Football Club winning a title, I think a lot of people have accepted that that probably will not be happening looking at the state of the squad. We're weaker than last year, people. It's a fact. It's mad, isn't it, that you go into a stage of excitement when Declan Rice comes in. Timber comes in and he gets injured and it's really frustrating. But you think we've got enough time to bring somebody else in to cover for that. It's not a problem. David Raya comes in, everyone's scratching their head, but we're cool with it because it's an upgrade on Matt Turner. But that's really where it stops. Kai Havertz, there's question marks. There's huge question marks. I think everybody has them. But everyone's a little bit down at the moment because actually we haven't really done anything more than what we had last year. In fact, some people are saying that we're weaker. I think we are. I think we are. So let's get to it. Smash your questions. Happy to answer anything. Put a Q at the start of it so I know it's a question. If you want to chuck in a super chat and make me feel better, I will feel better if you do that. Trust me, because there's not much else at the moment that's going our way right now. So I'm going to start starring some questions as you throw them into the chat. I'm sure there's a lot for us to discuss. Do us a favor, please. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're literally around about 170 away from 12k, so make sure we're trying to get us up to that, people. That would be amazing. If you haven't checked out earlier show, you can hear all the opinions of the fans call-in show that we did earlier. Please make sure you do that because there was some real good heated debates on there and some great influencers that joined me. I'm going to give this a rating soon. I'm going to talk about the players we've got in. I'm going to talk about where I still feel we're short. And I'm going to talk about everything around us that's happened that puts me in the position of knowing that Manchester City are yet again in the strongest position once that window had closed. I want to go into a little bit about why I think that this has not happened and why we believe that there's fingers to be pointed at certain individuals. So chuck it in, throw a load of questions at me, and I'm more than happy to take them. I personally feel straight away that today has proven yet again that we just want to be left short in every single window. And we do it to ourselves, people. We do it to ourselves because there's no need to do some of the things we've done this window for me. There's just no need. So let's talk about the outgoings. We've got dead wood at this club. We have. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of dead wood at this club. And we've been left with some of it still. We don't know what's happening with Cedric or Pepe. They're still at the club. Do we rip their contracts up? Do we keep them? I'll come back to that in a bit. Rob Holding has left. He's gone for £4 million to Crystal Palace. Fine by me. Well done, Rob. Thank you for the 7 years. Time for you to go and get a new challenge. Nuno Tavares has gone. No problem. Kieran Tierney is gone. Sambi Lokonga has gone. Balogun has been sold. Patino's gone on loan. And Runnison, I believe, has gone on loan to Cardiff, but he's pretty much going to be out of contract. Okonkwo has gone on loan as well to Wrexham, and his contract's out by the end of the season as well. So let's look at some of those outgoings again more closely, shall we? Because some of them I'm not really too fussed about. So when the rumours were of Balogun leaving for £40 million, everybody was crying out saying we needed a striker. So when you sell Balogun for £40 million, who are you getting in to replace him? The answer is no one. The answer is no one. In 4.5 years, and in nearly 7, 7, nearly 8 windows, we've bought one centre forward in Gabriel Jesus. That's it. That's all we've bought. One. Absolute crazy. One. So Balogun's gone. Would we have been better to keep Balogun? Yeah, I think so. I don't understand why we haven't, because we haven't replaced him. We already needed a forward. We had one there. Everybody wanted. We've sold him for 40 million. Why have we sold him for 40 M's when we need a centre forward? No one can tell me. Kieran Tierney. What's happening with Kieran Tierney? Well, he's going to go on loan to Sociedad. That's a big shame. I like Kieran Tierney, but at least we'll go and get somebody in. Nah. Not only will we sell him, we'll also sell our other left back, Tavares, to Nottingham Forest to allow Tottenham to sell and sign, Brennan Johnson. Weird one. Weird one, weird one, weird one. Don't get it. Don't get it at all. So, Balogun's gone. Kieran Tierney's gone. But we need a striker and we need a fullback. Weird. Timber gets injured in August and we're yet to replace him. What's going on there? So if people say, well, we don't need a defender, we just wait for Timber to come back. Why did you want Timber then? You didn't need him apparently, because you just said we didn't need a defender to replace Timber. So why on earth did we buy him? It's absolutely crazy. People are saying I haven't read the questions. I've starred them all. Trust me, I'm coming to them. Got to have a rant first. We've been left short yet again in the following positions. Saliba's position. Who can play there? Ben White. Well, what happens then if Ben White gets injured, or if Tomiyasu, like he's always injured, or Zinchenko, like he's always injured? Because this is going to happen, by the way. People will say that would be so unlucky. Well, tell me a season when Tomiyasu hasn't got injured. You can't. Tell me a season when Zinchenko hasn't got injured. You can't. Tell me a season where Saliba hasn't got injured for Arsenal yet. You can't. So this could happen again. Yes, it could. Yeah? And people will say, but that could happen to any club. I don't care about any club. I care about Arsenal. I don't care about what Man City have got. Because you know what? If Man City get these injuries, they cover them. Yeah? They've had the best window by far. They're going to win this league by at least 12 points, in my opinion. Easily. Because we are not strong enough. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. It's embarrassing what we've done. Absolutely shocking. You start the window off, you dangle that carrot, and we all bite it and go, get in there. Come on, Mikel. And it stops. And that's it. And that was it. Our window was 3 weeks. Get 3 players. Buy a goalkeeper because Matt Turner wants to leave now. And we go again. I do not get it. I do not get it, guys. So let's look at where we're stronger from last season. In goal, yes. Ramsdale and Raya. Stronger than Ramsdale and Turner. I'll give you that. But only one of them can play. But we're stronger if one of them gets injured. In defence, weaker. Timber and Tierney have gone. Rob Holding has gone. Cedric looks like he's going as well. Tavares has gone as well. So we're replacing nobody at all. And we're getting rid of the dead wood on top of replacing them with nobody that we didn't even have last year anyway. So we've only got, is it 6 defenders? 6 defenders, I think it is. Or is it 7? I can't work it out. But either way, it's poor. At the moment, it's 6. So when Tomiyasu goes to his Asia Cup and Saliba or Ben White are injured, what's our back four? We're going to have to force Kivior in there again, which we lost against Brighton, Forest, and God knows we'll last back in the last season with. Poor. So poor. We had 8 defenders 3 weeks ago, and I thought, we're sorted. We've got Timber, we've got Ben White, we've got Tomiyasu, they can all play right back. We've got Zinchenko, Tomiyasu can play left back, Kivior can play there. We've got Tierney at left back as well now. We've got Kivior and Gabriel to look at the left. We've got right backs and right centre backs in Ben White and Saliba, and Tomiyasu can play there as well. This is looking strong. Then we lose Tierney and we lose Timber. What's going on, people? What is going on? So we haven't replaced either of those. Then we go into midfield. Jorginho, Partey, and El Neni can all play holding midfield. Same as last year. Rice can play there as well, but I think we all know that we want to see Rice in the Granit Xhaka position. So we've got the same midfield numbers as last year. But we've got Declan Rice, who's an improvement on Xhaka. So our best 11 of last year is the same, but Declan Rice obviously is better than Granit Xhaka. Brilliant. Make sure they all stay fit, because if any of them get injured, we are so screwed, it is unreal. So screwed. Havertz is a pointless signing. £65 million for a player that's no better than Smith Rowe or Vieira that we've got already. Pointless signing. Should have spent that on James Maddison. Should have spent that on Moussa Diaby. Should have spent that on Kudus. And we'd have some left over. Haven't done it. Martinelli, Trossard, Smith Rowe, Saka. Enough on the left. On the right, however, we are totally and utterly screwed if that kid goes down. 87 consecutive appearances, beats Paul Merson, and everyone's praising it. Oh, this is amazing. Unbelievable. Sorry, that is not good news. We should not be playing this kid 87 times. Club and country, it's a joke, man. He's going to get burnt out. Carry on doing that with Saka. Say goodbye to him at 24, 25 because he won't get. He'll be done. Absolutely done. You cannot burn a kid out like that. It's not usual. So we're weaker there. Or we're not weaker. We're the same there. Up top, we're the same. It's Jesus, and if he's injured, it's Eddie or Trossard or maybe Havertz now. The Man City look at that and go, they're ready, aren't they? We better be. We've got to get 90 points. Man City, I can tell you, I've spoken to their fans. They're going, oh, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that I don't care, but say that I'm too bothered. But wow, I thought you were going to be serious, you lads, and you ain't. And to start with, I was like, I disagree, man. We've got Rice, we've got Timber, David Raya's a good signing. We'll get some more in. Are you going to, or is your business done? I think your business is done. I'm like, nah, it can't be. Surely it can't be. And it was. They were right. So for me, we have definitely got weaker. And we're supposed to be going on all four fronts. All four fronts. Oh, you're toxic, you're negative. Grow up, get a grip. I've had it all today. Go down the road and support Spurs then. Honestly, I can't believe this fan base. Why would I want to go down the road and support Tottenham when I'm moaning about Arsenal not winning? Why would I go and support a club that never win in their history? This is the poor lack of intelligence of some of this section of this fan base that have no understanding of what it is like to win because they've grown up in eras where we literally just qualify for top four and that's an absolute trophy. For me, I want to win. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be peed off if we don't win. Thomas Partey playing at right back does not excite me. This transfer window does not excite me. This transfer window is a 5 out of 10. I gave it a 6, I think, when we signed Timber. He gets injured, we've not replaced him, and we've lost more players. That's taken the rating down, I'm afraid. So it's a 5 out of 10 because we've done half a job. Half a job to try and go for a title. I love Declan Rice. I love Timber, and it's a shame he's injured. I think David Raya will play games, and Havertz he's got to get the best out of. But trust me, I can't give it any more than that, man. For me, it can't be any more than a 5. It's an absolute disgrace from what I've seen. This is mad. This is actually mad. And people will sit there start crying about this, saying, oh, he's out of order. They're slagging off my team. He's talking bad of my team. Just get behind him. Just get behind just get behind the team. Get behind him. Haven't we been doing that for what's it been, 5 years now? Does he need another window? Needs another window. Needs more windows than Microsoft. I said this 2 years ago, last year and the year before. This guy needs more transfer windows again. We've just had one. It's slammed shut. No more excuses. You work with what you got, right? You work with what you got. Absolute shambles. Let's get some of these questions in, man. Ross Taylor, love this question. Big up. Says, Dan, whose fault is this, Arteta or Kroenke? Arteta and Edu are responsible for spending the money that Kroenke is providing them. Now, people will say this hasn't been enough, and I would suggest that it probably isn't enough. So Stan Kroenke can hold an L2, right? But for me, Arteta and Edu have been wasting this money on a player in Kai Havertz, which was not a priority position. We could have had Kudus. We could have had Diaby. We could have probably had both. We could have had Maddison, who I wanted instead of Havertz. We could have looked at Gravenberch, who's gone today to Liverpool. We still need a box-to-box midfielder, by the way, which is exactly what he is, right? Even if it was Amrabat, even if it was some of the other players that have gone. Listen, Tielemans on a free wouldn't have even been a bad signing now looking at this. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't really want him. But he's be better because Declan Rice goes, we need someone with some legs in that midfield. And Jorginho ain't it, and El Neni ain't it, and Partey's a holding midfielder. Havertz is too attacking, so Smith Rowe and Vieira. We ain't got anyone that can do box-to-box. It's crazy. Absolute mad. For me, Arteta and Edu need to hold an L because they've decided to spend serious money on Kai Havertz. Make it work. Make it work. Because so far, Fabio Vieira and Kai Havertz are £100 million. And Diaby and Maddison went for 80. Make it make sense, people. Crazy. Now let's look at this next question from Ash. Big up, Ash. Says, the only saving grace is we had a semi-decent draw in the Champions League. How great is that, celebrating an easy draw? Listen, it is a Europa League draw, right? That's what it is. A Europa League draw. And that is why we need to go and win it. Every single game needs to be a W. I'm sorry, I can't take any L's in this league because this group stage is poor. We've got Seville, who won the Europa League. Europa League, not Champions League of last year. PSV, Europa League of last year. They were in our group. And of course, Lens, who have not been in the Europe, I don't think, for God knows how long. Walk in that group. Otherwise, there's serious pressure and serious questions to be asked on what the hell is going on in Europe with Arsenal. So big up, Ash. This one comes in from Meadow V. Says, how far can we go in the Champions League? Depends on fitness for me now. The squad isn't good enough for me to compete on all four fronts. So he'll probably throw away the domestic cups again so that we can concentrate on trying to get to a quarter-final or something. Listen, I think we'll go through the group stages. It depends then on the draw, of course. But I do not expect Arsenal to be knocked out any time before the quarterfinals in the Champions League. It's facts. Cheers for the question. Big up Nando as well. Nando the Gunner says, Dan, if you could have last minute with 30, 40 million, who would you have bought? It's a good question. I probably would look at the moment and say there's four positions we need: a centre-half, a central midfielder, a right winger, and a centre-forward. If you had 30 or 40 million, you're probably going to put that on Gravenberch, if I'm honest, because it's the only one you would have got for that price. There's nobody else wide right up top. Maybe at centre-back, like Simikan. Yeah, Simikan or Gravenberch, I think, are the two I would have gone for, Nando. But struggling, aren't we? Let's be real. Jake, big up, says, do you believe we'll go into the market in January for someone? Are you prepared for more Lawless cooking on Monday? Listen, Lawless can't cook me if we beat Man United because we'll be on the same points as them, and they beat Luton tonight. So just calm down, Lawless, yeah? Listen, if we're talking about January already, it means we've had a poor window. That's all I'm saying. But if we are going to go and do anything in January, it has to be Ivan Toney for me. It has to be Ivan Toney. He's the one that we need to go and get. I can't be dealing with anybody else, really. I honestly do feel like that is a serious question and one that I think we could probably get. But I don't know if he would come Arsenal because of Mikel. I'm not sure Mikel would want him, basically, is what I'm getting at. But that's who I'd want in January. So, yes, how far do you think the team will go in the League, FA Cup and Champions League? Well, I've mentioned Champions League around the quarterfinals is what I expect us to get to. I don't think we're good enough to win it. I don't think we're good enough to get to the final without it. FA Cup, listen, I think we can win it. I think Man City and Arsenal are the two favourites. In the league, Man City and Arsenal. But it's going to be City for the league, in my opinion, if you want my prediction. I think the FA Cup will be City, and I think the Champions League will be City. And I wouldn't even mind throwing some money on them to do the quad. That's how serious I am with City. I just think they're an absolute machine. I really do. Can't rule Real Madrid out of the Champions League ever, and I wouldn't do that. And I also think Bayern Munich are my third favourites after that. Do you know Arsenal are fourth favourites for the Champions League? Can you believe that? We are the fourth favourite team behind Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and City. Cheers, people. Maybe that'll go down now they realise we haven't got a squad that's good enough to compete. Paul says, I honestly think this squad can't handle the pressure. When the pressure hit, it all collapses. Do you think the team can handle the pressure, Dan? They have proved they can't handle the pressure, but the manager's also proved that he can't handle the pressure as well. So it works both ways. For me, it works both ways. We can't sit there and say that it's really, bang out of order that we're going on the players or the manager. They both have to take blame. But what I don't understand, and perhaps you guys can answer this for me, when we win a game of football, the manager is absolutely superb. He's done everything right. It's great stuff. When we lose a game, it's the players. So if we beat Man United at the weekend, it will be Mikel got it spot on and everyone stopped moaning. It won't be, look at how great these players were. Very, very bizarre. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Matt, big up, mate. He says, do you think financial fair play has played a part, or do you think it's Arteta's stubbornness? So I spoke to Tom Canton earlier, who came on and said that it is to do with AFFP, and that because there was no outgoings, we couldn't get any incomings. Now, I'm not sure that I believe in that. And the reason, I'm not saying Tom's incorrect by any means, because I love Tom. But what I will say is, how can you spend £65 million on Havertz if you're in trouble for FFP, knowing that you're still going to need players afterwards? and gamble on the fact that you're going to be able to sell outgoings to get more incomings in, when you know for a fact that all these people are not wanted. Pepe, Cedric, Lokonga, even Tierney was on loan. There's only Balogun and Xhaka we've sold this year, and Rob Holding. Rob Holding was 4 million. Xhaka was, I think, 17 million, something like that. And then Balogun was 40. Why are we so poor at selling players? Alex Iwobi is our record seller, by the way, on 40 million. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is next, and now Balogun will be added to that as well now. That's it. Brighton are selling like Cucurella for 60 million and Caicedo for 115. We can't even get any money for Tierney. What the hell's going on at this club, man? Guendouzi, I think we got offered 70 million. We sold him for 10. I remember Kieran Gibbs, we got offered 12 million by West Brom and we said no, and then sold him the following year for 7 million. We got offered 20 million from Wolves for Ainsley Maitland-Niles, said no. We let him go on a free in the end. I mean, what is going on, man? It's just poor stuff, man. It really is. But let's see, man. This one comes in from Brazy. Big up, Brazy. He says, when's Timber going to be fit again, Dan? Listen, I'm being told that it's at least 7 months, which means that we're not going to see Urian Timber till the Easter time. And I hope that it's before that. I'd love to see him come back at the end of January, something like that, and have a surprise. But I think he's going to be out for the majority of the season, mate. And it's not looking good, my friend. It's not looking good, which is a shame as we've not replaced him whatsoever. Creed, big up, says, Dan, would you take Awoniyi from Forest in January? If he continues to do what he's doing, then we could do a lot worse than Awoniyi. And people will laugh at that. I want Ivan Toney. I want Osimhen. I'd even take that Evan Ferguson, who I think is going to be a top player. Top player. But if we can't get them, listen, Awoniyi's better, in my opinion, than what we've got as backup. So big up. Listen, we're going to go to the next question here from Nando. It says, Dan, if we don't sign no one or just one player in January, you think it's enough? No, we need 4 players. We need a centre-half, a central midfielder, a right winger, and a centre-forward. It's poor to have 4 positions still. And let's be honest, there's a lot, not just Arsenal have had a bad window, by the way. Man United have had one. Liverpool don't look title winners. I thought they would. Chelsea is starting again. They've gelled. They've got about 200 players to try and gel in. Tottenham are disappointed with their window. Who else is there? I think Newcastle were the ones that probably had a better window than some. You know, they've got in fullbacks. They've got in a brilliant central midfielder, a great winger. They can be happy with theirs, but come on, man. We're miles behind City. It's actually not even funny. Sufyan says, why do we always have a bad end to the transfer window in recent years? We're always short, man. We're always short, and I don't understand why. I can't sit there and explain it to you. Nobody can. We've been short under Wenger. We've been short under Emery. We're now short under Mikel Arteta. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm so frustrated with it because I do feel like we could have been a couple of players even away from saying, that ain't a bad window, actually. Let's say, for example, that we bought in Gravenberch and we bought in Simakan, right? We're probably a Diaby or a Kudus away from having a really good window. But we haven't bothered. So there we go. Let's take the next one. This one comes in from Ross again. Big up, Ross. Tom, how can we... Who's Tom? How can we get no money for Tavares when Forest go and spend 35 million and make it make sense? Listen, Forest are doing a madness, you know. Forest have had an absolute madness. Like, they have signed yet again another 10 players after signing 35 in the first window of last season, summer. Crazy, it really is. CS says, who actually is Saka's backup? At the moment, people are telling me it's Reece Nelson. Pepe's still here. Fabio Vieira can play there. Havertz apparently can play there. We haven't got one, is the answer. We haven't got one that's adequate cover. We've got terrible drop-off in a number of positions, in those 4 particularly. Yeah, Saliba drop-off is huge. Kivior it will be now. Or Ben White, potentially, who, let's be fair, can't play at centre-back like he can at right-back. In midfield, who replaces Declan Rice that plays defensively like him? None of them. Because they're all holding midfielders and they're all attacking midfielders. They're not box-to-box midfielders. So we ain't got one of them either. We don't have a right winger that's any good cover for Saka. We don't have a centre-forward that's guaranteed to do the job of Gabriel Jesus. So I think we're 4 players short, man. It's crazy to be 4 players short when the window's just shut. But it seems to be true. This one comes in from Jake, who says, Dad, as they've only got 6 defenders left with Tomiyasu get injured, so will Zinchenko. This is my worry, bruv. This is my worry. Let's say we got the same injuries as last year, like we did last year. We got Partey was injured all the time, and he got injured again the same year. Tomiyasu got injured last year. Let's say that happens again. What do we do in defence? Because if Tomiyasu isn't there and Saliba gets a knock, who do we play? Ben White, Zinchenko, Kivior, and Gabriel. Come on, man. Like, this is poor. Really, pretty poor. So, yeah, we're short, man. Big time we're short, and everyone knows. Here we go. Jake says, Dan, would you keep Cedric as cover as he can play right back and left back? We might have to. We might have to keep Cedric. This is the thing. We've got Cedric and Pepe here now. What do we do with them? Do we rip up their contracts and start again? Or do we play the kids and let them go? And we play Raw Waters instead of Cedric if we need to. And we play Kozia Dubry, or we play Reece Nelson instead of Pepe. That's the big question we've got to ask, man. I think I'd be tempted just to play the kids because the other two are like washed up and no one wants them. You know, it's mad. This one comes in from Mackenzie. Says, Dan, if we don't win anything this season, is it Arteta out? Context, my friend. Context. If we don't win anything, then I'll be asking how we haven't won anything. And if the answer is because Man City beat us to a Champions League final and they come first by 2 points and we come second, I can sit there and say, do you know what? He was close to winning us two of the biggest major honours that he was in for. But if we don't win a trophy, we come top 4, miles off City. We lose to Sheffield United in the League Cup, and we lose to Leicester in the FA Cup. And we go out to Club Bruges in the Europa League because we've dropped out the group stage. I don't see how he can stay. And it's hard, isn't it? Because people say, where's the progress from last year? The only way we're going to have progress is if we lift something and go into a title race, or if we win the league and win nothing else. They're the only 2 options for me. That's the only 2 options he's got. If we get top 4 and finish trophyless, what do we do? Spend another 250 million? Give him another window? Come on, man. Like, we need to be real. It's just crazy, man. It's just crazy for me. But there's a lot of people giving this window like an 8 out of 10 and stuff. And I'm like, what are you watching? Like, really? Like, we're short. Crazy. Jake says, after seeing how the window panned out, do you regret selling Xhaka? No, because he wanted to go. And it's not about, we should have kept Xhaka. It's we should have done better to replace him. And we haven't replaced him. We've replaced him with Declan Rice, but we haven't replaced Xhaka because Declan Rice was the one we wanted on top of that. We haven't got a replacement now. So for me, listen, we're short in midfield. We are short in midfield. Nando says, Dan, why didn't we go for Amrabat? Yeah, I would have gone for Amrabat. It's another option for us, 100%, but we haven't bothered. This one comes in from Matt, who says, did you hear Arteta's comments about not being able to replace Timber? We've known about his injury for ages. That's not how a big team would behave. And this is the problem I've got. Me and Judges were talking about this. When you get injured in August in the first game, you think, crikey, thank God the window's still open. It's a massive shame this. We're going to have to get another kid in. Go and get Simican. Go and get, even if you go get a right back or a right centre back. Go get Kyle Walker-Peters from Southampton who can back up. Go get Simican if that's who you want. Go get that Pershers guy from Torino if that's who you want. Don't get no one. That's just poor planning yet again. So sorry, man. It's a madness. Jake said, Dan, as this window was over 3 months, we wasted another window. Yes, we have wasted a window, mate. In certain areas, not in all the areas. But it's got to be a 5 out of 10, man. Window is poor. Sufyan says, I really thought with a few additions we'd win the league, but we need another year. Well, we need another year now because they haven't brought the right players in. That's what it is. We are barring a miracle not winning this league. We need every player to stay fit in our squad, not just our 11. We need everybody to stay fit. Ain't going to happen. It is not going to happen, man. Ross says, Dan, how angry does it make you when fans say wait until January? I know. The window shut 1 hour, 1 minute ago, and everyone's saying we might need something in January already. It's just a shambles, isn't it? Really is. Unbelievable. Jake says, would 4th winning the cup and round 16 of the champion be a good season for you? No, but it will save Mikel Arteta. A trophy's a good season, actually. Let's be real. Yeah, no one will go, oh, we only won a trophy. Everyone will go, wow, we won a trophy. But Mikel Arteta needs to show progress. So, in context of how we went out of the other competitions, that would have to come into it. But a trophy's a trophy, man. I'm never going to turn that down, bro. You know that. Absolutely. Um, let's go into the next questions here. A lot of people saying 1 out of 10, 2s out of 10. Let me know what you think, by the way. Just chuck a rating down into the chat. Go into it. Chuck a rating down out of 10 for me. Let me know what you think. I'm giving it a 5. Some people might think higher. Some people will think lower. And some people will think that's about fair. But let me know what you think, man. Let me know what you think. Shane says, Dan, what do you think about De Zerbi? I think he's a fantastic young manager who's playing an attractive style of football, but yet again has not won anything yet. So in his time at Brighton, if he can do the unthinkable and overachieve in that respect of winning a trophy, then of course he'll be recognised as one of the up-and-coming elite managers. At the moment, he's a young, up-and-coming good manager who I think has overachieved in terms of Brighton's league position to get him into Europe. But I do think that there's a long way for him to go, and he's just starting his career, man. So, yeah, I'm a big fan. But I will say I don't want, if this doesn't work with Arteta, because people are talking already about, oh, what happens if he doesn't go and if he goes and all this stuff. I don't think he's getting sacked, whatever, by the way. I think Kroenkes are keeping him, whatever, all right? But I don't want a De Zerbi. I want a winner now. I cannot be dealing with this. We don't have this more trophy this season. I don't want any more young project managers at this club. I want someone who's won something before, because that team right now is good enough to go and win something. It might not be a title. It might not be good enough to compete on all 4 fronts, but we should be winning something, even with the fact that we're short. We're short enough for a title, by the way, against City. We shouldn't be short enough to win a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, yeah, or get to a deep stage of those competitions. But injuries play a part, and it might be. Let's throw some of your ratings up, because a few of you have been shucking them in while I asked you to. Let's see what you've gone for. We've got Rai Kavnu says 2. We've got Timmy says 5. We've got Henry 1412th says it's 2 out of 10. Here to then 2 out of 10. Dan Bam and Jake are both giving it a 7. Kev isn't happy at all, bless him. He's giving it a 1 out of 10. Glenn Marsh has given it a 6 out of 10. Nando gives it a 4.5 out of 10. Ash West gives it a 4 out of 10. And then AJ says, if Havertz is a footballer, so am I. 6 out of 10. Grumpy Arse Gamer says it's a 4 out of 10. These are low scores, aren't they? 5.5 out of 10. Gunnar ER says Havertz brings it to a 1. We've got to give him more than 3 games, but I am worried about Havertz. Mark, big up, bruv. Hope you're well. Says he's overall 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10 with no Timber. With Timber, a 7 out of 10. I think you're right. Timber definitely brings it up. The thing is, I gave it a 6, I think, or 6.5, I think, when I had Timber and Raya and all these. Then when he got injured, that brought it down because we didn't replace him. And we sold Balogun, Tierney, and then all the other Deadwood on loan as well. Couldn't get any money. Poor, man. Poor. Yeah, 5 is about right, says Archangel. Nat says 5, we can't sell players to balance the books. It's mad. And then Eric 7 Haag says, weighing it all up from what I've heard, not good, Dan. Maybe 3 or 4 out of 10. Shake says 4 out of 10. Oh, honestly, mate, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Techers Dave says, big up, man. Hope you're well, bruv. Says, if you don't mind, mate, can you rank each of the top 6 clubs transfer window, please? Man City, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I think they've had a very strong window. Arsenal, 5 out of 10. Poor. Manchester United, 3. Really poor, man. Really poor. Liverpool, 5. Nowhere near strong enough. Defensively, poor. Defensive midfielder. No cover for Trent. Yeah, poor. Newcastle, I'll give a 7 because they have got Barnes, they have got Tonali, they have got Livramento, they have got Lewis Hall. They're some good signings there. And then who's the other 6th club? I suppose top 6 is Brighton now. Brighton have had a fantastic window because they've made 115 million on Caicedo plus a load of money from McAllister. They've replaced them with young players, which we know will kill it. And they've brought in Ansu Fati. So for me, yeah, they're getting an 8 out of 10 as well. Villa, 8.5. They've had a very good window. Tielemans, Pau Torres, Diaby, fantastic signings. So they're having a strong window. West Ham, I'm giving them an 8 because they've spent the Declan Rice money very well. I think that Alvarez looks sick. I watched him tonight. He looks brilliant. James Ward-Prowse, perfect for West Ham. Kudus compliments Paqueta. Yeah, they've had a very good window. Who else is there? Spurs, poor. Probably a 5 like us. Haven't done enough by any means. Right, so that's what I'd say, Techers Dave. So I hope that helps, bruv. I hope that helps. MDL says, don't think we've improved nor gotten worse. 5 out of 10. Matt says a 4 out of 10. Very Scouse Mike says a 4. Crazy. Ash says, damn, we've sold Balogun and Tierney. Where is the real replacement? There isn't one, bruv. There isn't one, Ash. We've sold Balogun, who didn't play last year, so it's all right, don't matter. We just got 40 million gifted to us. No, we needed a centre forward, and we sold one, 40 million. We need a left back, and Kieran Tierney has gone on loan. Kieran Tierney, £35 million centre back, left back, and can play left centre back. Oh, just loan him. It's crazy. People are shouting out names already to replace Arteta. I think we might be jumping the gun a bit too much, but this is the guy that I would have. Oh, but he's boring. He's negative. He only wins 1-0 and 2-1. Oh, my God. Well, give me that then, because I grew up on George Graham and we used to actually win trophies. Ancelotti is a good lot. Don Carlo, mate, is one of the best, isn't he? Of course, it's one that I would look at. 4 out of 10, 2 out of 10. Arsenal first has a big fat 0 out of 0. Wow, 0 out of 10. Oh, my word. That is unbelievable. Afsar says -3. Wow, we're really not happy, are we, people? Really not happy. Chavi says, if Arteta was to get sacked, don't you think it would unsettle a lot of our players? We've heard how highly Saka, Rice, etc. have spoken about him. Absolutely, it'll unsettle the players, of course. They're bought into this process and this project. Mikel Arteta has done a great job in some aspects of what we've asked him to do. I think he's done great off the pitch, and I've bigged him up for that and praised him completely. On the pitch, I've questioned it up until this season, where I'm now questioning it again, and the back end of last season with this new system that he puts in place. So let's see what happens, man. 6 out of 10. Glenn says, so disappointed. Another 6 out of 10. 1 out of 10. Wow, we're getting some really bad ones here now. Jake says, I love your content with other supporters. I'm a big fan of you. Thanks so much, my bro. I really appreciate that, man. That's really kind of you to say so. Sofiane says, what do you think about this Havertz thing? What does he see in him? Bro, I have no idea. And I'd absolutely love to know, because for me, there is absolutely no understanding of what this guy is going to bring to Arsenal at the moment. But let's see what happens. Reasonable Doubt says, would a loss to Spurs or United put pressure on Arteta considering the record at the Emirates? Oh, God, of course it would. Of course. We've got 6 games coming up, and I'm not confident in many of them. We've got, in that game, in no particular order, Man United, Spurs, Everton, Man City, and Chelsea. And there's another team in there as well, which I've forgotten now. It might be like Brentford or something. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry. But we need to seriously sort this out, because for me, that is a very, very tough run of fixtures, man. Now, to end, because I like to try and end in a positive. There's a lot of negative people tonight. There's a lot of toxic negativity, as people like to call it. Listen, there are positives. Declan Rice is an upgrade on Granit Xhaka for me. I like Granit Xhaka and what he did last season, but come on. Granit Xhaka is nowhere near the levels of Declan Rice, and potentially Declan Rice can get even better, right? Personally, I would say the first 11 is still one of the best in the league. Ramsdale, Ben Raya, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Jesus. Onto that, we've got Trossard to come on. We've got Smith Rowe. There's Fabio Vieira and Havertz, which we're not too sure about, but they're options. We've got Eddie Nketiah, who, to be fair play to Eddie, by the way, this start of this season. He has scored goals. We give him a lot of stick, and we know he ain't the right guy, but come on, we've got to give him his flowers when he deserves it, right? In midfield, we've got Jorginho, who, to be fair, another one gets a lot of stick, but actually I don't mind him. I lose a lot of opinions by that. A lot of people say, no, he's crap, he's rubbish. Actually, he ain't done a bad job. I don't want him in my midfield starting, but he's not done a bad job, right? Then I look at the back line, and we've got Saliba and we've got Gabriel. But after that, there's a concern, because the backup just ain't there for me, right? Ben White can play there, right centre back. He's not as good as Gabriel or Saliba there, but he's can play there. Kivior, likewise. I'm not so sure that he's 100% ready for a title, but I think he can come in into the squad. I don't know. I'm kind of frustrated with the lack of squad depth yet again, man. Let me answer this question, man, because someone's just sitting in a stream. Where are we? Rycav News says, Potts, I'm in every stream. You never answer any question I ask. Even if I'm first, I'm an avid gunner for 33 plus years, pal. Listen, man, I haven't seen you put in a question. Put one in now, mate, and I'll 100% answer it before we get off the stream. So make sure you do that, bro. More than happy to answer your question. Where are we? Cliff, big up Cliff, man. Hope you're well. Says, mate, same old Jack and Ori. Gaffer is going to mismanage the squad and we'll be fighting for fifth place. And this geezer will not be held accountable. Now, let me answer this, right? I said I was going to finish on a positive and I will, but this has got to be answered as well. 100%, if he does not do what is required, I'm going at the Cronkies and I'm saying, what are you going to do? And if the Cronkies say we're going to leave him here and it's no problem, I want him out because there's no ambition. There's no ambition at all. And that's the way it's got to be, man. Peter Nolan says, Dan, no mention of Emil Smith-Rowe. Yeah, what's going on with Smith-Rowe, man? Looks like he's behind Havertz and Fabio Vieira now, which just isn't good enough. Like, it just is not good enough, man. For me, he needs to be knocking on the door. He really does. There we go. Where are we? Ryak Avenue. You just answered my question. Oh, good. I thought I did, man. I looked at the name and I thought, let's hope I have, man. Big up. Thanks for watching, man. And I appreciate your question. Listen, ending on a positive is difficult when you've had a window that's in a little bit underwhelming. But our first 11 is still good when it's fit. I still feel personally that we can go and do something this season in terms of trying to get in the deep stages of competitions, going for a title race and hopefully get that trophy. So I'm not going to be all doom and gloom and say, oh my God, it's over, blah, blah, blah. But I do have problems, man. I do have problems. And I think it's okay to have concerns. Hopefully we'll all prove wrong, right? I've been proved wrong before. Everybody in the chat has been proved wrong before. Anybody who's questioned something in their life and it's gone the other way, okay, we're quietly surprised. But I need to see more, man. So now the pressure is seriously on. The pressure was on anyway. The pressure is seriously on now. Dan Potts is exhausting. What are you watching for then, bro? Turn off. Go watch someone else. Jesus, what is it with these people? Unbelievable. I find it very, very bizarre that there are certain people in the fan base that do believe that we've had an unbelievable window. I'm not sure that we have had an unbelievable window. I'm not going to say it's been a shambles, but as far as I'm concerned, we're about halfway there, which is why I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Poor outgoings, average incomings, and we've been left short in 4 positions. So sorry, guys. That's the way I'm doing it. Listen, do me a favor. Make things better for us all. Let's share some love. Let's hit the likes, people. There's 300 of you watching. Let's make sure that we get over 150 likes on this stream. So I always ask for 50% people. So let's make sure that we do that. And the other thing that I'd love you to do, if possible, is subscribe. We're only around about 170, 60, something like that, away from 12K. So let's make sure that we get up to that for all of the mandem. And to finish, make sure you do this. Please do not miss this out, people, because this weekend, Bread and Honey Bets, I've got a big one. So make sure you go over to Bread and Honey Bets, link in the description, pay for the Patreon, which is only £10, right, which everyone can afford, £10, and you get to see all their bets. And trust me, this weekend, I've done them all, I'm on them all, and I've got confidence. 6 weeks in, 5 weeks winning. 1 week, a couple had failed, but a couple had won. Trust me, guys, make sure you do it. I'm praying you will be up this weekend. I promise you. All right, I promise you. I'm not getting paid for any of this. I'm not promoting it because I want to get money off of Bread and Honey Bets. I just know and recommend them so highly, and this will be well worth your money. I cannot stress enough to you. So cheer yourself up. Go over to Bread and Honey Bets. Make sure you click the link. Sign up for the Patreon. Get to see all their bets, that they're doing. These guys are professional sports bettors, and they're minted. So make sure you get involved with them, people, because it's been giving me some pleasure over the weekend. So make sure you get involved in this. Smash a like, subscribe, head over to Bread and Honey Bets, puts a little bit of money on. Obviously bet responsibly and don't go mental, and enjoy your weekend, people. I'm out of here.
Yes, people, listen up. Do you want an easy way to make money? Check out Bread and Honey Bets now. With an incredible win ratio, do not miss this chance. This is highly recommended by myself after a very successful win ratio. With betting tips from professionals on your favourite sports such as boxing, MMA, Formula One and football. Check it out for yourself for only £10 a month with guaranteed return on investment. Check out Bread and Honey Bets now on the Patreon or follow the link in the description. Check it out, people.